Welcome to a brand new podcast, and this is the Oracle 19. My name is Greatness, and today we're going to talk about God, the Lord, what He means to you. Touch on that. Are you a believer in the Supreme Being? I'm going to have a special guest as well, and he's going to share his take on what is God and where is God. And just for the record, well, before we start, I want to touch on some things before we even get to that part, and I give you my perspective. Now, again, thank you guys once again for supporting the machine. Subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe to the podcast on Google, iTunes, Spotify, Apple. And through our social media, you can subscribe to the channel so you know when the next podcast will come up. And usually we have the podcast is every Monday and Thursdays. So every Monday and Thursdays you can find a new episode. Again, subscribe to the channel. And you can find us on YouTube. Greatness 19 channel on YouTube. Music by Cheap Limousine on YouTube as well. So again, I'd like to thank you for always the continued support for your guys and emails. It's definitely, that's why I usually have different topics, random topics, because I usually get requests. And also any business inquiries, or if you want to put your brand on this podcast, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. So once again, that's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com if you have any business inquiries and if you want to put your brand on this platform. Just give me a shout and through email, and we can handle some business. And then shopping, our baby shopping mall, evolutionoflondon.com. Wide range of products, clothing, furniture, tools, health products, cologne, perfume, a whole variety of things. So check it out, evolutionoflondon.com. evolutionoflondon.com. And also for digital products, custom clothing, evolutionoflondon.org. O-R-G. And again, you'll find this information on the description when you go to find us through Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. You can just easily Google the Oracle 19 and Oracle 19 podcast, and you'll find us there on all the platforms, the major platforms. Also, again, any donations, PayPal account, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com if you want to support the machine, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. You'll find us on Anchor as well, Anchor FM. So you can also donate through Anchor FM. And again, our sponsor, we have Mr. Will. And again, his information will be on the description box. And you can email him at WILLYZ WilliesFitness99@gmail.com for any fitness consultations. And also his clothing line, his link is also on the platform as well. So you definitely can reach out to us. And again, I'm definitely thankful. So we covered the business aspect of things. Again, today's episode, God. And before I have you speak, before I should say I call up the guest speaker for today, I just want to give a little bit of my perspective. Now, I am a religious person. Not going to get into any denominations or anything, what I follow, but I do believe in a supreme being. So, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here. A lot of people say, what is God? Where is God? Now, if I'm talking, let's say, a Christian, a Muslim, or a person of Jewish faith, and again, let me just state this. I do believe in a supreme being. I'm just giving you the reversal if I didn't believe in a supreme being. First of all, I would ask these people that follow religion, so where is God? People say in the heart. Where physically is God? With all the stuff that is going on today, where's God? Where's Jesus? I haven't seen him. People are going to say, okay, he's coming. So where? What time? Could y'all guys answer that? I'm sure you can. But then, with all the things that's happening today, why is the Lord allowing this? If he's all-knowing and all-seeing. So people will also say, well, he can do whatever he wants. Question I would ask is, so why do God put this? Why do he have to play games? Now people will say that's blasphemy. Now I just want to stress, I am religious. I do believe in supreme being, okay? So, but I'm giving you a reversal. I'm talking as if I didn't believe, because there's a lot of non-believers. People will ask, some people that don't believe will say, well, I'm God. So I'm the one controlling my destiny. Now I know the believers will disagree with that. Again, you have people that are saying, look, why would God put good and evil when he knows the outcome? Why would he put something out there and he automatically knows the outcome if he's all-knowing or all-seeing? Why would he do such a thing like that? That's not a righteous God to put something out there and he already knows the outcome. It's like if I'm putting something, I know the outcome of a particular thing, but yet and still, or I should rephrase it. I know an outcome that will cause harm to another person, and I know they're going to get themselves hurt, but I'm going to let it go down anyway. And I'm supposed to be a loving person. And people will use that similar analogy. If I'm a loving God, and you know that my children is going to fall in the category of evil, why would I even start that in the first place? Why would I create a society? Why would I create two beings, Adam and Eve, and I know that they're going to fall from grace, and their children is going to fall from grace? to a very low state that you see today. Why, if I'm a God? If I'm an all-knowing God? So you're going to cherry pick what is right, what is good. You just want to sit back and cherry pick whatever. Then you're not a God, a true loving God. And then you're going to let the devil run rampant throughout the world, causing harm to your children, just to sit back and say, okay, I'm going to raise up the 144,000. Use the book of Revelations as an example. But then I'm a loving God. Why would you sit back and you already know the outcome? What's the point? All right, so again, this is just a little caveat just to stir the pot a little bit. And again, I have to stress, I'm a religious person. I'm actually on the side of the supreme being. There's a supreme being and there's a purpose with everything, okay? But I'm just not going to get into what denomination or what I follow at the present moment. But I'm just giving you the reversal for the non-believers that's talking. Just to stir the pot. Just to stir the pot. So, but anyway, I'm gonna try to call this gentleman, this business owner here. I deal with people throughout the whole world. So this gentleman here, we're gonna get his perspective. So let me turn the music off here. And we're gonna go and I'm gonna call him. And we're gonna get his perspective. We're gonna get his perspective and we're gonna go from there. Good morning. You on live here with the Oracle 19 and podcasts, and I want to talk to you. We talked previously, so I want to get your perspective on what and where is God and anything else that you want to add. So with that being said, before we start, introduce yourself, your name, and your business and your purpose. So I let you have the floor, my friend.
Well, my name is Baba, and I'm the owner of London Fashion Printers. We
All right.
specialize in customizing T-shirts, hoodies, logos, pretty much anything you want to print, we could print for you, customize-wise.
Perfect.
London Fashion Printers at gmail.com. Or you can check us out on Instagram at London Fashion Printers on Instagram and also on Facebook.
All right, good. What's your website? You have a website?
Yeah, it's London Fashion Printers, ON, Ontario, at bigcartel.com. So it's also on my Instagram. So if you go on my Instagram, on the top of the page, it will connect you to my website.
Yep, perfect. Now, Baba, I wanted to ask you your perspective. I know we chatted a little bit, and
the question, what is God and
yes.
who is God
Yep.
and am I God?
Yes. You can have the floor. I want to get your perspective. So you go and shoot.
All right. Well, first of all, we all know we are all humans, right?
Okay.
So, as human beings, in my spirit, I have the understanding that we are all spirits, living, breathing, and moving souls in a physical form with a spirit, soul of with a spiritual soul
Right.
of energy within the inner being of the human body, like a duality of body, soul, and spirit. Now let me break it down a little further.
Okay.
We as human beings, living in the spirit of the soul, in the physical form, need water to live. Since they say we are 70% water, we cannot live or exist without water. Or even our survival depends on water, which means we are connected to the water, which is essential to our life stream or life force. Without water, any living, breathing, spirited soul will die. So we depend on water for the process of natural life. So water is God. That's one. Two, we as human beings living in the spirited of the soul, in the physical form, need air or oxygen to live or to process our life. And without these, one cannot survive and one will die. As a reason, we depend on trees and nature for the survival of our life, which means we are connected to the air or wind, which Mother Nature produces freely with no charge.
Now, I just to.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not.
Done.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No.
Sorry.
So air is God. That's two. Now, number three, we as human beings living in the spirited of the soul, in the physical form, depend and are connected to the earth we walk on. Since without the earth, we cannot grow our food, which nourish our body and soul, and also gives us the essential properties to grow our body into a physical form or spiritual form. Through all the natural food, vegetation, all the different type of meat, without the production of the earth, we will not survive. So we depend on the earth and we are connected to her and her glory and blessings. Or simply a place to walk. So thank you, Earth. We love and respect you, Mother Nature, for all your glory and beauty. So Earth is God. That's three. Now number four. We as human beings living in the spirit of the soul, in the physical form, depends on the sun or fire for the natural process of growth. The natural power of the sun or fire warms our body when we are cold or freezing, also grows our vegetation and plant life, and the process of animal life as well. The food we eat, which is part of the process of the sun's power, gives us the power of seed, of procreation, which speeds up the evolution of life, of life's process. So we are connected to the sun for these facts and the developmental of our natural growth and productive system depends on the sun to evolve the human race. I'm not done.
Okay.
So sun is God. That's four. Finally, with my understanding of spirituality and the process of nature and our connection to energy and the universe, all that exists in it makes us omnipotent, the infinite creational beings of life in the physical form and spiritual form as creators. We human beings are the gods or goddesses we speak above in our holy books, being reincarnated from spiritual beings or spiritual forms to be born in a physical form or to be born as a spirit with a physical body. To explain more, we have four elements that guide our planet or our world, which are water, air, fire, and earth. These four elements are connected to each human being or to each living, breathing, spirited soul. These four elements are our ancestors or our elemental parents that protects each and every living, breathing, spirited soul, or human being, or animal, or plant, or simply energy itself that controls the vast universe and the earth as we know it to be since existence. We have 7 days of the week, and everything in existence was born on one of these days, which is also represented by one of the elemental forces or spiritual or spirits, or even symbolize one of the elemental forces or spirits. And I say spirit instead of energy because everything in life has energy, and everything with energy has life, and everything with life has a spirit or soul, and everything with spirit or soul passes. Everything with spirit or soul passes on through the evolutionary process of life and death or reincarnation. Since every energy exists in either physical or spiritual matter, they must also die, either a physical death or spiritual death, because of the circle of evolutionary process, and must return back to the first state of creation, which was in the spiritual form of your first spiritual self, in the form of the elemental forces or elemental creational nature of life, or the circle of life, or the tree of life that never dies and lives both in the physical form and spiritual form as one of the elementals of creation, either water, air, fire, or earth, which each and every living, breathing, spirited soul will return back to its elemental state of creation during death. Every human being is connected to one of these elemental forces and was spirited into creation as a physical, living, breathing, spirited soul, meaning in the physical form as you see yourself today. This is my overstanding and self-realization and my connection to the universe, earth, and Mother Nature, which is God to me, since I am God and am made in their image. Now I'm done.
All right. Yeah, no, well, you definitely was thorough with that. Definitely gave, because a lot of people, before I called you, I gave a perspective. I believe in the supreme being, and that's me. I didn't give what denomination, anything. I gave a perspective where a lot of people, you do have atheists out there that don't believe in no supreme being. They just will say, so where is God? Who is God? And I never seen God, and with everything that's going on today, why? Now, what would you tell those individuals, such as, let's say, atheists? What would you tell them?
Lord, human beings have lost their way based on religion. We have lost our spiritual identity because of religion. And
Okay.
the reason why I say that is because right now, as you're sitting and as I'm sitting right now, you know you cannot live your life without water. You need water to survive. So your life right now depends on water. If you sit there right now and say, yo, I'm not going to drink water for a week, you're dead. God is not going to come give you water. Jesus Christ is not going to come give you water. Allah is not going to come give you water. None of those people in the holy books will come and say, yo, bro, here's water. Here, sister, water, go drink. No, your life will end. So that means water is your number one essential thing to your life, which is God to you. So which means any living, breathing thing, human, animal, plant, or anything has that essential ability of water in them. So you should even say, instead of going and worshiping God, which you don't know what God is, and nobody does, but I'm telling you, you could go and worship God, water. Why? Because water is God, and water lives in your body, which is 70% in your body. Another thing, You human beings cannot live without air. You need air to live, which means air is God to all of us. Why? Because without air, we are all dead. If I sit here right now and said I'm not going to breathe for 20 hours, I'm dead. No God, no Jesus, no Allah from anywhere is going to come and say, yo, here's air for you. You are dead. And your mom and your fathers will cry you to death, and they will bury you. Why? Because nobody's going to come from anywhere to save you. Third thing, you could sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to eat. You will go hungry and you will die. Why? Because no God from anywhere is going to come and say, here is food to put in your belly. Why? Because you, the human being existing, is God yourself, and because you've lost your way and your connection to the universe, you don't know the simple things to connect to. Another thing, we humans grow something called food. Without the help of the sun, none of our vegetations will grow, so we get food. So which means the sun is also God. And we live, and we as humans have the sun inside our inner body. Because example is this, if you go on your bed and you cover yourself with blanket, I bet you anything within 15 to 30 minutes, your body will get so hot that you have to open your blanket to get a little bit of fresh air, because the sun that is inside your body is going to heat your body up so much that you can't even contain yourself under the blanket. So we forget these connections that we humans have to the universe, and then we get religion and all these other people trying to disturb our spiritual mind by saying, go worship this and go worship that. But the natural way of worshiping is the air, the water, the earth, and the sun. Because these elemental powers also live within our bodies, in our spirit, and in our soul. So without these connections, we cannot even exist. And that right there is the four elemental gods, including ourselves. That makes each and every single living, breathing human being a god. Also, all the plants are gods. All the water are gods. All the animals are gods. Why? Because once upon a time, they all lived in their elemental form, in a spiritual form, before we could see them in the physical form, as we could walk and say we're touching water, or we're touching trees, or we're touching animals, or we're touching the earth. All these things are a part of who we humans are. So without this connection, we don't even know what God is. But we walking, breathing souls are gods ourselves. We just lost our connection to that. And then religion comes here and says, hey, let me give you guys a God. And then everybody forgets about the God within their self. And then we keep going and searching and searching and searching, and then we become more and more confused and more messed up in our heads, and then we go start killing each other. This is why we don't have no peace on the planet Earth. I'm 37 years old since I've been born on this planet, and I have yet to see peace. Why? Because we are all messed up in our minds of what God really is.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question for you. Now I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit. Now,
Yes?
Christians, Muslims, and Jews will definitely say you are a heathen, and you know with what you just said.
Well,
No. Let me add on. Now,
okay.
now also, I'm gonna stir up the pot more. You can with the next question. What color? What colors is God?
That's the silliest question I've ever heard. What color is energy?
Don't know, my friend.
That's my answer to you. What color is energy?
Well, for
If you give me the color of energy, then I give you the color of God.
well, you know, you see the people with the pictures. Everything is around is white, so I'm assuming is a white man.
God is not. So if you tell me energy is white, that's not true, because energy is not white and energy is not black. Energy is actually a thing that's not identified, so you cannot identify energy. Right now, you sitting there, put your hand out, breathe in your hand. You're gonna feel air, either warm or cold, but you will feel air. That's energy. You can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's God. You can't touch it, but it lives inside you, and you can breathe it out anytime you choose. and breathe it in anytime you choose. Nobody tells you to do it but you. Do you understand?
But
Now, let me go to the books that you guys have out there in the world. The Bible, the Quran, the Gita, all these books, all right, teaches you one thing. God is a spirit. And if God is a spirit, then he lives in each and every single person's body. That gives us the essence of life, right? So now your books, in those holy books that you all read, it tells you a name. Either it's Jesus, either it's Allah, or God himself, or even Krishna, or whatever you want to call them. But who are you, the person reading that book in the first place? What are you? Before you even get the understanding of what these people were, what are you, the human being reading the book? Aren't you God before you start giving those titles away from yourself to those people? Because guess what? If Jesus lived on this planet Earth, as you, and I'm not saying that, as you people in the Bible believers say that, if he was a human being on the planet, he had to pee, he had to shit, he had to spit. Do you understand? Because as I live in this earth right now, everybody pee, everybody shit, everybody spit. Do you understand? So your holy Bible God had to do the exact same thing me sitting here doing in my life right now. Same thing with the God in the Allah in the Quran. If he was an existing person, right, or an existing being that is a spirit in a physical form that once lived and died, right, and now we could worship him in the spirit, then that means once upon a time he would live just like I do. Why? Because I'm a spirit in their image. I pee, I spit, I get mad, I get angry, I get happy. I have all the attributes of a God, which is elemental in my body, which is also matter in its form, because I have the ability to create life when I lay with a female.
so, question is: so you're saying the Lord or God or Jesus don't have a color?
All fake. It's all fake. In the Bible, in the Quran, all of it is what you call it, mental control, mind control. It's all fake.
But I do have a question before you.
Listen. No elemental has a color. You cannot pull a color on God. Okay? If you sit right now and you look outside, there are black people, there are white people, there are Chinese people, there are native people. They all look different, right? Each single person have a different physical attribute, which is a physical identity that they all carry. But guess what? If I walk outside right now and I picked up a knife and I put 5 people in front of my face, an Indian, an African, a white person, a Chinese person, a native person, and guess what? I get out my knife and I start cutting each single person. They will all bleed red. None of them is going to bleed purple or even yellow. Every single one of them will bleed red, which means they all carry the exact same energy that has no color or identity in each of their body. That makes all of them the same. The only thing that sets them apart is religion and also the physical attribute of their look or their physical outside attributes, like their hands, their face. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people are fat,
Okay.
some people are skinny. But guess what? We all are the same living beings.
Okay, stop right there. Because I know you got a lot to say, but we got to condense it. You know, because
No. Keep going.
but
I'll answer any question you
but
have.
the thing about it is for people now. The next question, I do get you. You gave all the information, your perspective, and which is good. That's what I want to hear. Now, because to offset what a lot of Christians and other denominations feel, Muslims, Jews, so forth. So you'll get a lot of pushback with that. Now, why do you use the word overstand? Because I notice you talk about overstand.
To say understanding is for the simple-minded people. So So if you say you understand something, you're only looking at your point of view. You're not looking at the big picture. So when I say overstanding, it's looking at everything with a big picture. So you look at everything at like a magnifying view. You're not just looking at it at a tunnel view, a vision. You're looking at it as a big, universal, connectional thing. Do you understand? So when I say overstanding, it's giving you a big picture.
Okay.
I'm God because I'm connected. Listen, example. I'm God because I'm connected to water. I'm God because I'm connected to air. I'm God because I'm connected to the earth. I'm God because I'm connected to the sun. Do you understand? So
Okay.
all these things make me omnipotent, which is infinite creation being in the physical form. I'm also a spirit in the physical form. Because guess what? I sleep. I dream. You understand? I go to bed when it's nighttime. Some people sleep, some people don't. But we all sleep at least every single day, no matter what time. Your body will tell you to go to bed. Do you understand? So all these things are the natural mystics of Mother Nature, which we take that away from her.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Thank you. Now, why is there other like Christians, Muslims, and the Jews where they have pictures they holding up of God or the angels, and why do they have it as a white person?
Can they tell me that person was a white person? Were they there?
Well,
Who drew that picture? And the person that drew that picture, okay? This is another question. The person that drew that picture, where are they? Are they alive right now to explain themselves? No, they're not. So therefore, whose picture is that?
why do society?
You cannot tell me that's a Jewish God or that's a Muslim God or that's a Christian God. Because guess what? I could put 5 different person in your face that don't look like that same God, but they all have God's attribute in them. What does that tell you? God does not have a color, identity.
But why?
He is that energy
Okay.
that you cannot
Okay, but
describe.
I have to say, I have to we know I have to ask you this. I get what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why do society why do these priests and religious leaders head why would they put something like that for us to follow if it's fake?
Well, tell me this. What's control? How do you control somebody's mind?
Yeah, I get it.
Remember this. Remember this word. Free spirit, free mind. Do you know what that means? When you were in your mother's womb for 9 months, you were a free spirit, a free mind. Do you understand? You were what's the word? You were a person that nobody could see, but you existed in your mother's belly. Your mother didn't even know how you looked, but she knew you were there. So she knew there was some type of energy or spirit being inside her belly, but she doesn't know what that person is or where that person came from. Right? Now, when that person comes out of that mother and comes into this world, every little thing they learn from the get-go is put on them. Do you understand? Either religion, either names, either school, whatever it is kind of forced on them and not the natural way of them learning what they actually came into this world to do. Do you understand? Because a baby right now, and I have kids, you have kids, and I know other people that have kids. You could have a baby right now, okay? And the baby, you have not taught the baby anything specific, and they will do something or a behavior that you will say and think to yourself, wow, how did he know that? Or how did she know that? Where did she learn that? And imagine if you don't even have TV in your house. Do you understand? Which means there's something inside that baby's mind or soul that nobody gave to the baby. They just came into this world with it by themselves. Because they are an elemental being. A spirit born into a soul. Into a physical, human, walking, breathing person. You
Question.
understand that?
Yeah, question.
Now,
Oh, you have more to
yes,
say. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
now that alone lets you understand, like, in the bigger picture, control or religion and all of this takes those things away from one's purpose on the life, and like one purpose in life. You understand? Because if you are born into this world and you know your mental conception and you follow that, you will be a greater person in society. But now, if you follow what society has planned in place for you, then you always have some type of disturbance in your life that you're always trying to outreach or you're always looking for.
So you think
You
this is?
understand?
Now, I have to cut you off here, but so you think it's propaganda that is put out
Of
here?
course. Yes.
And
Religion is propaganda. It's
so
control.
so what race of people that have put this propaganda out? You think?
Well, money is a factor. That's one thing.
Okay.
Money, right? Money controls people. Money controls nations. Money controls land.
But who was this
So
race of people?
money is a factor. And I'm not just trying to point fingers at any race of anything. Every single race that took over another race, any race that invaded another country and became a major capitalized city. Right now, we are in the Roman Empire still. Regardless of how you look at it, the Romans are still in. We're living in their lineage.
Are the
Right?
Romans were the Romans white?
You could say white, you could say Caucasians, you could say whatever you want to say, but in actuality, is they were the people that were leading the front line of our civilization.
And just to give just to say this, I'm not. It's not a battle. I actually strictly want to get your perspective. I'm just throwing questions out there, but you answer. You answer.
From what we've learned, yeah, the Romans are white people, white Caucasian people.
Okay. Now, where did you get all of this knowledge from, or this information? Because people, I know the people will want to know.
If I was to tell you go read a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to tell you go do this, you will. But guess what? It's as easy as you taking a walk into the forest and learning yourself.
Okay.
Looking deep inside yourself and meditating on your soul and on your thoughts, on yourself. All these information will reveal itself to you. But really, there are teachers out there too. There are master teachers out there that are also teaching and opening other people's mind to even a deeper, understanding of themselves. Right?
Who was your master
So
teacher?
there's teachers like Dr. Malachi, right? Malachi Z. York is one of them. There's people from my country. One of them is called Quotation Master, and his real name is Kwaku Pipra.
Stop right there. Two things I have to ask you. What this Malachi York? Again, enlighten me on him because I heard stories about him.
It's like Malachi York is. See how I'm saying we are all spirits born in the physical form, right?
Right.
Dr. Malachi York actually learned himself from a very, very young age and learned his purpose, why he was born. He didn't let religion and society kind of disturb his spiritual thoughts. Do you understand? Or his super subconscious. Do you understand? He never allowed that to be disturbed. And because those things was never disturbed, he looked deep inside himself and learned more about himself and in self-realization learned the truth of life and started teaching it to the human people or to the world. But his thing is he picked his Nubian people, which is the African people, to direct his information to. Do you understand? But in reality, there are more that are not just Africans. There are certain white people that are even Africans. There are certain Asians that are Africans. So his information at the time was directed to the melanin Nubian black people, right? But in my understanding, it should have been generalized information, because through reincarnation, if you were a black man today and you died today, you could be reincarnated into a white person. If you're a native person and you die today, you could be reincarnated to a black person. So those information has to be for each and every spirited human being that is connected spiritually to the elementals of our life. So if you have that understanding, then when you listen to people like Dr. Malachi, you will actually look inside yourself and reach out those information, because they're all in our DNA for us to reach for it. You will not find this information I'm teaching or I'm trying to talk about in the Bible. You will not find it in the Quran. You might find some of them in the Buddhism book, because they taught spirituality, so they went a little bit outside into the elemental forces to understand what it is, and they pulled that in their book. But the Bible doesn't do that, and the Quran doesn't do that. Why? Because the Quran leaves out the elementals and gives out one person's name, which is Allah, and the Bible does it with Jesus and God, or even the Trinity, which is the Holy Spirit, right? But it's far-fetched. Do you understand? The simple connection is what I break down, which is us humans being connected to the universe and to the elementals that we all have within our inner being of ourselves. That's what makes us gods. That's what God is.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And not what those people are trying to teach you. Because right now, if I'm sick, okay, and I go to the water and pray to the water, guarantee the water is going to heal me. And when I get healed and I come home, you know what I will do? I'll go buy an apple and give it to the water for appreciation. That's me understanding the mystical of life. That doesn't mean that I have to go to some church to go pray. No. Because I understand the water is also in me, I could talk to the water within me and within the one that's out there. Same thing with oxygen and air. Because I have that in me, I could go and talk to a tree and have a full-on conversation with a tree, and the tree will bless me and heal me and take away all my negative energy and bless me with a positive energy. Why? Because the tree is God, and it has the same energy that I have in my body. Same thing as earth. I can lay down on the earth and talk to the earth, and it will heal me from my sicknesses and my problems and bless me with my issues. Do you understand? And take all my negative away. So earth is also God. Do you understand? But we have taken these attributes away from the elementals that exist within our body and said, oh, okay, Jesus is over here, Allah is over here, da-da-da. That takes away all the attributes of the elementals, which we as humans carry in ourselves. Because without these things, you cannot live. Tell me one person that's living right now that lives without air. Tell me one person living right now that lives without food. Tell me one person that's living right now that lives without water. You can't. It's impossible. It's actually impossible. You could go in your Bible and tell me who in the Bible lived 30 years with no food. Who in the Quran lived 30 years with no air? Lived 30 years with no water. It's impossible.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You get what I'm trying to tell you?
No, I get it. I get it.
You cannot tell me these people exist and these things were real. Religion just fools with your mind. This is what I'm trying to say. Religion is a disturbance to your spiritual way of living. All humans should live spiritual. Why? Because of the elementals that exist in our body. Do you understand? Some people are born on Monday, okay? They're connected to water. Some people are connected to the tree. Some people are connected to earth. Some people are connected to the air. We all are connected to something. So each and every single individual got to find that out by themselves. And when you find the elementals that you're connected with, then you go to that element and talk to them when you have issues. And even if you don't understand what element that you're connected with, all the four elements already exist in your body. So when you need somebody to speak to and you don't have anyone in this world, go to the element because they exist within you. They don't exist anywhere else. They exist in me and they exist out there. If I exist, that means all the elementals exist. Without the elementals exist, and that's what spirituality is actually all about. The elementals are what carries us forward. Without the elemental spiritual things existing, we humans will die. That's what people don't even think about. If today all the water in the earth dried up, we're all dead because all the water in our bodies will dry up too. Same thing with the air. Same thing if the sun takes itself away and don't give us no more food or grow nothing on this earth. How else would you do anything? You might generate something, what is it, technically, with some type of genetic or creation stuff, but guess what? We will start getting more sick and more disease and create more shortage in our lifespan. Why? Because these things will make us die. The natural way of living is what we're supposed to live. Natural air, natural water, natural everything. That's spiritual. That's our connection to the universe. That's what makes us omnipotent, the gods and goddesses of the earth. Living in the physical form with spirit and soul within each and every single person.
Well, that I guess that sums that up. And again, I wanted to thank you to give your perspective on what and where is God and so forth. Again, it is informative. Again, that's why I let you speak, because I want to give different perspectives, and there's people that will agree with you and of course disagree.
Of course, there's always that.
But I just wanted to give your perspective of where you receive your information. You explained it, and so I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into this Malachi York character that you.
One thing I want to say is anybody that might feel a disagreeable mind and don't have an agreeable mind and I will tell you this: go find an animal and cut the animal and cut yourself and see if you and the animal is not the same. If the animal don't bleed red and you don't bleed red, then come tell me that I'm a liar and everything I just said was a lie. But guess what? If everything bleeds the same as you bleed, you're connected to them somehow. Even trees have blood in them. Do you understand? Some trees will bleed red right in front of your face and you see it with your own eyes.
Okay.
So all these certain things we just have to learn. Study the earth we live on. Study the natural mystics that we live upon. And stop going to church. Stop going to the mosque. Stop wasting your time. Stop giving these fucking church pastors your money. Because guess what? My mom has been going to church her whole life and she still doesn't even have a car. Why? Because she's always paying some pastor to drive a car. And guess what? All you people that go to church, guess what? The pastor's richer than you. They all have cars. They all have houses. Do you have a house? You work your ass every single day and go and give them a 10% of your money. And they get richer and richer, and they're outsmarting you because they know these little mathematics that I'm teaching right now. And they will never tell you the truth because they want your money. They don't want to work. They need your money. So they'll keep telling you the lies that you believe in the Bible and keep taking your money every single day. Because think for something. If you make $1,000, right, and you give 100 to your pastor, times that by 100 people or 20 people in a year. The pastor's rich. You're broke. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's an interesting point.
Does that really make sense?
But
we're all worshiping the same God, right? Come on, man. Stop the lies. They need to stop lying to my children. They do. Because the people that are connected to Mother Nature should wake the heck up. And I don't want to swear online, but they need to wake up. Because they're hurting Mother Nature's heart. And when they hurt her heart, they hurt in my heart. I wrote a book, and you see in my book, it's a broken heart. Nobody has yet, anyone that actually got a chance to have my book, have yet to ask me why in your pages, in your book, there's a broken heart.
Now, also,
humanity broke Mother Nature's heart, and that breaks my heart.
What is your email address so people can inquire about getting the book?
London Fashion Printers at gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you could call me on 226-504-2442, and I will direct you how to get the book.
Perfect. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you for your perspective, and
You're welcome, brother.
that's what it's all about. Different perspectives, and that's what we need in the
So
community.
you know what's funny? I actually want to say this. I want to thank you, God, for doing this interview with me. And I'm meaning God as you, Chris.
Okay,
You
appreciate.
understand what I just said?
I
Or what
appreciate.
I just did?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
What?
Because this is the title that we need to start giving each and every single person because we are truly are the gods. And you see, when we start giving these titles back to ourselves, humanity will wake up for the right reason. But I'm still here to wait and see, you know?
Well, look.
Because we are all gods and goddesses.
Well, with that being said, we're going to end this conversation. And again, I appreciate that, and definitely will talk soon.
Good. Have a blessed day.
You too. Now, take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Now, again, I want to thank Baba for his perspective, and again, that's what it's all about. Different perspectives. Very important in this day and time. Whether you disagree or agree, like I said, everybody has their perspectives. So, again, I want to thank y'all guys for listening. And if you have any questions on this episode, you can email me, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And also, I had a sponsor that I forgot about. You can, William Bomer and his www.londonlaw.ca, www.londonlaw.ca, if you need any consulting on legal matters. So that's pretty much it. Again, thank you guys for listening and supporting this machine. And again, we have to stay strong out here and read, apply knowledge to our daily life, and stay focused. And try not to be food for the gods. Once again, you support us on Google, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, all the major platforms. Check us out. Check us out on YouTube, Greatness 19 channel. Post videos pretty much daily or weekly, I should say. And again, subscribe to the channel on YouTube as well as on the Oracle 19. And thank you for listening and stay strong.